Hey guys, it's Hink here. Today we are going to be discussing the one question to rule them all, or the one question that ruins the most lives of the guys that I see on this subreddit, and it's happened to myself. And so we're going to talk about what this question is and basically why we need to stop asking it and what to do about it instead. So stay tuned. We are going to discuss some things today, guys. It's definitely going to be worth your time. All right, hey guys, it's Hink here. So today we're going to be talking about the question that I see that makes the most men unhappy. What is that question? You probably already guessed it. Am I bigger than your ex? Am I the biggest that you've ever had? Have you ever had a guy bigger than me? Any variant of this question where you are trying to determine information to compare your penis size to somebody else that your ex has been with, or that your current girl has been with, or current guy, whatever it may be. Guys, we have to stop asking this question. Okay, guys, so let's say you're thinking about asking this question. Obviously, guys, you want to know the answer. You're insecure. I'm insecure. I asked this question before. I don't blame guys for asking it. I'm not going to sit here and cast stones and be like, I've never asked that question. No, I've asked it to at least 3 different girlfriends in the past, and every single time it has left me like, God damn, like I wish I had never asked that question. And so there's really a couple of different outcomes that this could go. Number one, you ask the question and she says, no, you are not the biggest, and you're devastated, guys. There's so many guys that hop on our subreddit, getting bigger, and they're like, oh my God, I can't, I don't know what to do. Here I am. How do I get started? Because I asked my girl if I was the biggest she'd ever had, and she said no. And so that's really the first and most common outcome, because especially depending on the body count, especially these days. I'm an older guy. I mean, geez, back in my days it was like not uncommon that you had girls that had like a very low body count. Now it seems this day and age that guys are just with Tinder, it's just like a track meet out there. But anyways, that is the first and most likely outcome, is that you ask her and she says no, you're not the biggest, and you're absolutely devastated. Huge crush to your ego. So number two, she won't tell you, and you build resentment towards her because she won't tell you, and deep down you know that she probably won't tell you because she knows that she's had some guy bigger, but she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. And so it leads to like this internal rot in your relationship, depending on how self-conscious and how insecure you are, rather, that she won't tell you if you were the biggest or not. The third option is she tells you that you're the biggest and you think she's lying. There's really no way to know for sure if she's lying or telling you the truth, but hopefully you're in a trusting relationship, but sometimes your mind can play tricks on you, and so you think even if she says, no, you are the biggest, she's just saying that to spare your feelings because she knows that any other answer is going to lead to you being depressed or, getting your feelings hurt or whatever it may be. The fourth option is she tells you you're the biggest, and you still have to think about all the other dudes that piped down your girl or your guy or whoever it may be. Like, why do you want to bring memories of other dudes' members to the person you're with right now? Like, why would you want to make them think about all of their past sexual encounters when you are with them currently? What good does that do? And I'm talking to you, thinking about asking this question, but I'm also talking to myself because, like I said, I'm in my 40s now. I've learned quite a bit from when I was in my 20s, but Jesus, there's no good that can come from it. So what's the fifth option? She tells you that you're the biggest or you're not the biggest, whatever it may be, but then she's bothered that you're so insecure about your relationship that you have to even ask her that question in the first place, and the relationship suffers as a result. And then I can't reiterate this enough. And you ask her and she says, no, you're the biggest. But once again, you're still making her think about all of those past sexual encounters, okay? And how all the different ones felt, and, just all the way down that line. Like, why would you ever want to do that? So what are some better options? And so, okay, guys, here are some healthy things that I think that you can do. First of all, you can learn real size statistics, okay, guys? If you know what your size is and you know what the real sizes averages are, the average length is somewhere around 5.5 to maybe 6, with the average girth somewhere around 4.5 inches, you will know where you fall on that spectrum. And so if you are well above that, then chances are she hasn't had bigger. If you're average, then chances are, maybe she has had 1 or 2 bigger than you, depending on, once again, her body count or his body count, whatever it is. is. But if you learn the size statistics, can already figure out that answer, and you can also figure out where you fall on that line. And so BD made a video about that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. He uses like paper rolls, and it's actually quite a good video. I highly suggest you check that out. I'll put the link to it below. But also there is this website. It's called Unraveling Size, and I won't be able to put a link to it below, but if you just go on Google, type in Unraveling Size, you will be able to see this real life demonstration of what exactly 5 inches look like, what 6 inches looks like, what a 6-inch girth looks like. And it even has a model that actually shows what a 6-inch girth looks like compared to an average female. And guys, you have to understand that porn is not reality. I can't stress enough how harmful pornography is, in my personal opinion, okay? But if that's what you're watching and that's what you're kind of compare yourself to, that's not good. But anyways, learn real statistics, okay? Number 2, you have to understand that women are notoriously bad at understanding measurements, okay? There's even a paper that I talked about earlier. It was basically the video that I made on science proves the size that women want. They actually talk about how women were terrible at what they call recall. And so they would hand them a 6-inch 3D model and then said, how big do you think this is? And then test them 30 minutes later and say, remember that model I handed you? How big did you think it was? And women actually underestimated on that. But you have to understand that now this is my opinion here, but guys are prone to exaggerate what their length is, okay? And so in my opinion, guys that are 5 say they're 7, and guys that are 7 say they're 9, and guys that are 8 say they're 12. And so if you have a girl and she was with a guy and she happened to ask how big are you, he's gonna be oh yeah, knowing dang well he's 5 inches, he's gonna be oh, I'm 7 inches. And so that in her mind is gonna be what 7 inches is. And so especially if you ask her what's the biggest you've ever had, and she's oh, probably 9 inches, statistically that's darn near impossible. Yes, there are some guys who have that, but what are the odds that the girl that you're with, unless she's a actual adult film star, has had a 9-inch D is extremely unlikely, guys. It just is. It's not impossible, don't get me wrong, but if you know the size statistics and how extremely improbable certain sizes or girths are, it can help kind of put your mind at ease, okay? This is a big one, guys. There have been multiple studies that show that women uniformly do not care nearly as much about penis size as men do. There was even a recent video that I made. It's called Does Size Matter? I'll put a little screenshot up here to show you that. But in that study, it showed 80 to 85% of women did not care or were happy. No, it's not even that they didn't care. They were happy and satisfied with their partner's penis size. 80 to 85% of women, guys. And so it's a very, very small percent of women that wish that their men had a larger package. And so I wish that you all would truly internalize that yeah, you might want a bigger D, but your girl probably does not. She's very satisfied. Not every girl wants a huge D. There are plenty of women that have serious things like dyspareunia, where it's actual painful intercourse, or vaginal spasms and things where it is truly uncomfortable to be just thrashed with some massive hog. Women don't want that, guys. Not all of them, okay? In my opinion, it's a very small subset of women that actually are what we would call size queens, okay? This is probably the biggest one here, and I can't stress with this enough. She is with you. You won, dude. The end. It doesn't matter about any of the exes, any of the other people she's ever been with. You won. She is with you. So don't screw that up by throwing in your insecurities into the relationship and trying to figure out how many different guys that she's been with and, were they bigger, were they better? That doesn't matter. She's with you. That's the only thing that matters, guys. And so I wish that you would hear me on that point. Or, he's with you, whatever, dude. I don't judge, but just guys, if the person that you're dating is with you, that's all that matters. You won, okay? Don't worry about all these other people. I think it's also important to realize that part of the reason why you want to know is your own ego and your own selfishness. I think you really need to realize that there's, like I just mentioned above, in my opinion, there's no good that can come from it. I think there's a very small subset of guys that, number one, be the biggest that the person's ever had and actually believe their partner when they say that, and actually be content with yeah, I'm the biggest that they've ever had. To me, that's a douchebag thing. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I can say with significant confidence that I've been told that basically that I'm the biggest that some have had. Okay, like that. I'm not like, oh yeah, like I'm the man. Where my cool sunglasses are not down here. But like I just think you're a douchebag if you get like, oh yeah, I'm the man because I'm the biggest she's ever had. I just think that's lame, guys. There's so much more to life than the size of your D, and whether that be, I mean, there's just so many other things that you could be a douchebag about. Like, oh yeah, I'm the richest guy she's ever had. Oh yeah, I'm the tallest guy she's ever had. Oh yeah, there's just so many douchey things. I just think there's more to life than that, guys. And that's just, whatever, hot take kink here. I just think that's a very douchebag thing to just be like, oh yeah, I'm the biggest she's ever had, and just like hang your hat on that and get your validation from that. Much more important than the size of your member is actually how you can pleasure her, okay? And so I still don't advise you to ask like the question, am I the best lover you've ever had? But to me, I would rather be told that I gave her the biggest O she's ever had, or I was the best lover she's ever had, or I made her, climax like nobody else has ever done before. I would much rather hear that than to hear that I'm the biggest she's ever had, okay? I'm one of those rare guys where I actually appreciate women and giving them pleasure, not like these like red pill guys or whatever that are just like, we're not going down that pathway. Anyways, I'm sure some of those guys are like now downvoting this video. But anyways, guys, if you learn to be the best lover that you can, to me, that's far more important, okay? If you want her to keep coming back for more and more and more, like learn how to absolutely please her and give her those like body rocking climaxes. If you made it this far, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you took a second to if I can get it out, to subscribe. It really means a lot, helps the channel grow. If you wouldn't mind giving a thumbs up on this video. Let's say if this video gets over 250 likes, I will do a video on, I will do a video on what I think are the top 3 most effective exercises for gaining length. How about that, okay? Deal. So let's get back into it. You also need to understand that size is not the key to good sex, okay? It's not. Yeah, if you're below a certain amount, it can be prohibitive. Yeah, if you're above a certain amount, it does open things up to like better positions, deeper penetrations, like anterior or posterior spot, like climaxes. I mean, yeah, there is a benefit to being bigger, but that's not everything, guys, because the average like depth of a vagina is actually shorter than the average penile length, okay? That's just a statistical fact, okay? Fact check me on that. I mean, go to ChatGPT. Some of you guys are so gosh darn lazy. You just want everything spoon-fed, but that's neither here nor there. Just understand having a big D is not everything. You need to know like all the ways to please your partner, okay? Next, stop watching porn. Guys, like from the dopamine, the addiction, the potential for pornography-induced erectile dysfunction, the fact that you can go down the rabbit hole of like darker and darker and darker porn until you get to the point where like you go to have a normal sexual interaction and you can't do it because you need that like dark, hardcore stuff to even get aroused. Just stop. And there's so much things like smoke and mirrors and like misangling and exaggeration, and they get the tiniest women with the tiny hands, but it can completely distort your reality for what is actual real life. You can also learn about the real size women prefer, okay? There's this study here that was based on 3D models with which showed that the average size that women prefer is about 6 by 4.8. Okay, according to the models they used. And so, that was on a small subset of women with this one study, but it's not like women want like 8 or 9 or 10 inches, okay? So you really need to understand like what is actual reality, and not what TikTok or these like thotties on TikTok that are saying, I have a ruler on my arm so I can see exactly how big the guys are. Like, just don't get caught up in that, guys. Please, I beg you. Like, if I was king of the world, queen of the world, like I would absolutely just have a switch and I would just shut off social media, okay? I know that might shut down this channel, but it'd be worth it for all the other like positive benefits that you would get from that. But I'm going off on my rants on this one, guys. I'm sorry. Consider getting a therapist, and I'm not even joking here, getting a therapist and talk to them about penile dysmorphia, because it's a real thing. And a lot of times talking to a therapist about that dysmorphia can actually help bring clarity, bring light, and take a lot of stress off of you. And so, guys, you're on this channel, you probably already know what I specialize in, but, you could do enlargement exercises to actually physically get bigger. It's not impossible. There's papers, there's so much literature. Unfortunately, I haven't seen one of those comments in a while about like, oh, PE doesn't work. There's clinically proven studies about extenders, which, I'll put one up there just to quiet those guys, but you can physically get bigger. That can help with your self-confidence, and by, getting bigger, it can put you more towards that upper end of whatever it may be. And I also can't emphasize this enough, guys. There are so many things that I'm just going to go with particularly women here, will value before they actually get to the size of your manhood, like your personality, your charm, your hygiene, your teeth, your facial features, like whether or not you're in shape or not, your height. Like obviously you can't do too much about height, but like you should maximize the other aspects of your life to make yourself, if you're trying to get out there and date, to make yourself the strongest candidate that you can. Like there's so many things that happen before you actually get to, I'm speaking from my experiences, before you actually get to the part where you're intimate with somebody. So maximize that thing. There's never once in my entire life ever been a time where a girl was like, oh yeah, I was watching you in the gym and I saw you had a nice package, and so I was trying to holler at you. I mean, obviously I haven't always had a nice package, but that's neither here nor there. But the point is, I don't even know any guys that have ever had that experience, guys. So just once again, just maximize all of your attributes, guys. And so I appreciate you watching. If you need to reach me, guys, it's through my Patreon. That's the only thing I'm going to acknowledge. I get far too many messages. I try to acknowledge the comments. I love you guys. Please comment for the algorithms. Let me know what you think about this video. But yeah, I think that'll do it for me, guys. Until the next one, I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. Peace and love.